Gathering Leaves by Robert Frost, 1874 to 1963. Spades take up leaves no better than spoons, and bags full of leaves are light as balloons. I make a great noise of rustling all day, like rabbit and deer running away. But the mountains I raise elude my embrace, flowing over my arms and into my face. I may load and unload again and again, till I fill the whole shed. And what have I then? Next to nothing for weight, and since they grow duller from contact with earth, next to nothing for colour. Next to nothing for use, but a crop is a crop. Who's to say where the harvest shall stop? Okay, this poem is by Robert Frost. He's an American poet who used to be a school teacher. I think he's probably most famous for his poem, The Road Less Travelled. So, what's this about? Well, superficially, this poem is about collecting leaves in autumn. Collecting the leaves that have fallen into his garden. But let's see, I think this poem also is looking at the idea of childhood and maturity and the different attitudes of a child to the attitudes of an adult. And I also think it's looking at the concept of what is valuable to nature and what is valuable to man. So let's see. Spades take up leaves no better than spoons, and bags full of leaves are light as balloons. Okay, so I think he's saying here that spades are not very good for picking up leaves. Yeah, I think you probably need a rake. And I think this is the view of a child. He's having fun here, picking up the leaves, and he's enjoying himself, and he could be using a spade or a spoon. Yeah, and the idea of balloons, this is fun and it's light, and he's having fun. I make a great noise of rustling all day, like rabbit and deer running away. So he's making a lot of noise. Yeah. And I think maybe this is a contrast between the rabbit and the deer. When they make noise, they're actually doing something, and here he's not really doing anything very important. And I think, okay, he's using this word rustling. This is onomatopoeia. This sounds like the movement of the leaves as well. But still, this is quite light-hearted and quite fun. Yeah, and maybe here the difference between man and nature. Man's just collecting leaves, making a noise, and he's doing nothing more than making a noise. Yeah, the rabbit and deer, when they make a noise, there's a reason behind it. But the mountains I raise elude my embrace, flowing over my arms and into my face. So before, the leaves were as light as balloons, but suddenly there are mountains of leaves, and he can't pick them up, and they flow everywhere. And I think this is the adult now talking, or the adult view. He's getting angry because he's getting angry with nature because he can't control it. Yeah. And this is maybe more an adult's thing. The child is just having fun in nature, whereas this is man's idea of I need to control nature. Everything should go in its right place. And this is certainly a change in tone. I may load and unload again and again till I fill the whole shed. And what have I then? So he's working hard, but it seems rather futile, because he takes the leaves and he puts them in a shed. And I think here again, this is the contrast between humans and nature. Nature doesn't care that the leaves are all over the garden. These are good for them, but man has to put them in the place for everything to be tidy according to man. Yeah, and maybe he's wondering at the futility of actually collecting these leaves. So what does he have then? Next to nothing for weight, and since they grow duller, from contact with earth, next to nothing for colour. So he's now wondering, I think, why he's doing this. What's the point in collecting these leaves? Yeah, and I think this is to do maybe with value, that man values everything being ordered and tidy, whereas the natural world doesn't care if the leaves are there. Yeah, and he's wondering what's the real point in doing this. Next to nothing for use, but a crop is a crop, and who's to say the harvest shall stop? So this is a much more adult point of view now. So I think it's coming to maturity. We need to keep the leaves, because at least they're something positive from our work. They have some sort of value to us, even though it's useless. And I think maybe many of the things that we value are totally useless. Yeah, and you never know, they might be useful. Who shall say when the harvest will stop? Yeah. So what's it about? I think it's about the idea of nature, the contrast between nature and man's organisation of things, and a contrast between childhood and maturity, and different ways of looking at things and doing things. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Gathering Leaves by Robert Frost.